hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I knew goes away in the end.
You're listening to Tony Caravan Live.
The only station that matters.
Yeah. My chair just fell down. What have I become? I learned the other day that YouTube basically hides these broadcasts, these live webcasts. It's totally ridiculous. Hey, Scotty, I want you to focus your phasers on alphabet. All right? Thank you. TC out.
Good morning.
And a bright good morning to you, folks. Glad you could join us on this Thursday, October 28th. In the year 1521. All right. And let's get on to the show, and let's jump right into the weather for those you new folks or those people wondering what's going on.
The Weather Watch forecast.
And here's the latest CONUS view of the planet Earth, particularly the former United States. You can see there's some clouds over in the upper west portion of the continent, and in the midsection there's like this big wave of clouds. And somewhere over in western Pennsylvania is one of those blue things, whatever that blue Christmas. We'll be getting into that blue Christmas soon. And, hey, it looks like there's all kinds of stuff popping up around Florida. You see those clouds? There's some funky clouds. I got to double check the date on this thing. 28 October. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. There's some weird stuff going on down there. See that? Those are high altitude little, bursts of clouds. That's some crazy stuff. And it looks like there's some circulation over the Atlantic. Something's trying to happen over there. So I don't know. And that's all just missed the mystery state, the state we no longer know what it is. Anyway, in my neck of the woods, for those of you spying on me, stalkers, and other such personnel, it looks like today is going to be cloudy. The sun may make an appearance. I took a pain pill. It's going to get up to 61 today, though, for some godforsaken reason. I have no idea. It's currently 46 degrees outside. Sunrise at 7:41 a.m. in my neck of the woods. That's on the East Coast, but I'm not on the coast. I'm inland. I'm about an hour away from one of the entrances to the Northern Appalachian Trail. And if I ever built that crow's nest or if I build that hatch on my roof, I'll probably be able to see, I'll be able to look out over onto the Appalachians in the distance. In the distance. Anyway, tomorrow it's 100% chance of rain, Saturday 80%, and Sunday 60%. Basically, it's going to be a rainy weekend, and I will be emptying buckets.
The Weather Watch forecast.
That's because my roof leaks. How you doing there? I put a candle next to the skull. It seemed a little bit too dark. Yeah. I get more into this, Scream season. The tooth. So anyway, I have neglected showing you my grow room. So I took a picture yesterday of my grow room. And there's Mr. Gnome. Actually, my whole mouth hurts because I don't know what to eat anymore. And I've been taking my antibiotics at the wrong time. And I've totally fucked up everything. And I really don't care anymore. So I had some dark chocolate pomegranate things for breakfast. I mean, it said take with the snack. That sounds like a snack to me. I can't have fiber, can't have this, can't have that, don't have any direction. The YouTube is all full of contradictions from various doctors and pharmacists and health professionals. My doctor gave me no guidance. She abandoned me. And the pharmacist didn't include any literature in the thing that told me about what I could or couldn't eat and when to take and how to do the drugs. I'm drinking cold soda. Diet Thunder from Walmart. It's good stuff. If you like Diet Pepper, I think Diet Thunder's better. Dr. Thunder or something like that. As the sign says, it's parsley and ori, but it's oregano. The question is, which one of those little tiny baby things is oregano and which one's parsley? It's hard to say. It looks like most of the seedlings took except that one quadrant. Well, it wouldn't be a quadrant. It would be a sextant. Or would that be a sextant? No. Sextant is that thing they use on the ship. There's a gnome there. There's a gnome. Some people like gnomes. It's a garden gnome for a little baby garden. Anyway, that's that,
Tony Caravan.
You've been subjected to a highly sophisticated form of propaganda.
It's just what you need, not what you don't.
Yeah, I'm here again. I was thinking of reading something from the book. On Halloween, I'm going to read my horror story that's in here. For those of you who haven't bought the book. And there was some other thing in here I noticed I had the other day. See, I write these books, and it's like, it's hard to explain my creative process. It's like once the song is done, it's like it's done is done. I often say that. Done is done. And then I forget it. It's like you go through this creative process. It's like this. I mean, I could really say something off color not off color, just like disgusting. I might as well. It's like taking a crap. I smell chemicals. I've been spraying chemicals. I use that liquid. It's liquid rubber in a can, right? That's one of the biggest con jobs. I was up there yesterday, and it like kind of bubbled. Yeah, it partially, well, it still leaked, right? But it partially like stopped it in some areas, but it like kind of bubbled up, blistered up. Then I put like, pressed on the blister and the water came out. So it's like useless. So it's just a matter of, how do they make these fake commercials? And where's the fuck is this 13? I had 13 reasons. See, there's no page numbers in this book, and there's also it's all intentional because it's full of conscious. I have 13 reasons why it's game over. And I know it was on the left-hand side. There's game over. 10 reasons why it's game over. How does that sound? See if this would be worth reading. Yeah, we might get into this a little bit later. This is the kind of stuff that's in my book. It's just like, it's interesting stuff. This is my book. Even though this book is signed, who knows? Maybe I may give it to somebody at some point. I found this is a weird show. I'm just happening. I got a tooth. My pain. I got some pain here, probably from eating the chocolate-covered pomegranates, drinking the soda, or them doing that stupid, cleaning. And I never had a cleaning in my life. And I know I look completely different today, which is weird. Maybe I'm dying from improper use of antibiotics. So for the news, I found this thing. This is like from Judicial Watch. I get these email things. I have this other thing that I got from Save America. I don't mind getting these things just to keep. It's a way of keeping yourself on the radar. I mean, all you got to do is hit the delete button. And besides, if you unsubscribe to something, you never unsubscribe. You just get about 5 more different ones because the unsubscription notification tells them, hey, we got a live one, and then they sell that name to somebody else, even if you like the people or not. That's what they're in the business of. It's all about you and information selling and stuff like that. Record-breaking Mexican border arrest caravan en route. I didn't know I was going down there. Caravan en route. You got to wonder about that name. It's an Americanized name, right? My one grandfather on my father's side, he came over around the turn of the century, and he opened up a store, and he called it the Caravan Store. He thought it was better than, his real name, right? Which I could tell you, but, for my other family members, they may not want to, know that. But I'll tell you, it's more Mediterranean, European side of the Mediterranean than the way the name caravan sounds like a bunch of camels or something. It has nothing to do with that. It was just something that he thought was, was clever and worked. And basically so some people wonder that. They think, is this guy some kind of... No, not really. I'm a Euro. I come from, Euro blood, Anyway, on my grandfather's side. Anyway, he came in. He built up a business, self-made, like so many of those immigrants in those days, which ties into the story. He was a self-made man. Came over here, opened up a store, and I mean, I'll tell you the story because my family's been in the printing business. I mean, basically, he opened up a grocery store like a lot of people, did. And he had this talent. He had flyers, and he printed flyers and signs in his window about what was selling in the grocery store, what he had, And he had a knack. He was good at it. And I guess he had some kind of, obviously he did it himself, so he had some kind of prep thing, I don't know, press. I mean, we're talking, 120 years ago or something. So, I mean, whatever he was using, it was a pretty antiquated thing. Hand set, no doubt, hand type, putting the type in by hand and, doing some kind of rollover, whatever. Not that far from Ben Franklin. But the other business people, and I guess, I don't know, people in town saw his cool signs in his little corner grocery store. And they were asking him, hey, could you make me something like that? And so the story goes, I didn't hear this firsthand from him. Though we used to go over his house every now and then, but it was like, in those days, the kids kind of hung out with the kids and the adults kind of got in the other room, or in another part of the room at least, and they talked adult talk and the kids talked kid talk, It's like, it was like that at weddings and, other events, It's like there was the kids' tables and then there was the adults' tables, you know what I mean? Just the way things were. But anyway, somebody told me this, an uncle or somebody, I don't know. Or maybe it's a family legend or something. But I don't think it is. I think this is the story. And so he eventually was making enough, realized there was more money potentially in being a printer, printing, making things, than there was in selling groceries. And he opened a print shop back at the turn of this is like I said, we're talking 120 some years ago, about that time, maybe less. And then that legacy continued. So I would be a third generation printer, though. Well, I am. I'm a third generation printer because I'd been involved in the printing business. However, might give respect to privacy of my own family. Another sibling of mine more or less continued that. So he would be truly the third generation printer in the family. Though I have worked in the printing business over the years. Anyway, record-breaking Mexican border arrest, caravan en route. Is that me? I'm en route. I'm going to take care of this. We'll send Caravan down there. He'll figure it out. This is Tony Caravan Live. Anyway, not only was the record for illegal immigration apprehensions along the southern border shattered in 2021 fiscal year, which ended in September, concluded with a bang, a final month spike of migrants from Haiti, 132%, Turkey, 89%, India, 82%, Ukraine, 81%, and even China, 75%. The number of illegal aliens from Russia nearly doubled from 758 to 1,432 during the same period. According to year-end figures provided this month by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, chilling stats illustrate the magnitude of national security and humanitarian crisis created by the Biden administration's disastrous open border policy. And the thing about that is, we're not even talking about Mexicans or South Americans or Central Americans. And I think that's the problem people don't get, And then these two other things, there's woke at Wesley Public School. Excuse me, I'm drinking soda. I forgot that. That means you're going to get some belches. This is a brutally honest show. I'm a human being. I got a physical body that reacts and responds in certain ways. Critical race theory dominates college campuses these days. But I guess it's being fought on these Wesleyan public schools over woke, blah, 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 blah. And this Babbitt shooting, internal police docs reveal no good reason for shooting. Well, there's never any good reason for shooting. That whole thing, that whole January 6th thing. See, because I had, that was around the time I quit. I started doing these shows. I quit watching TV news. I was producing my shows. I don't think that was, and then when did I write the book? I don't know if I put the month. I usually don't put the month on here. It's just the summer. I wrote the book in the summer. So whatever it is, I never paid attention to that January 6th thing because to me, I was watching it live. Was watching the Trump rally was on live on like RSBN on YouTube. Like I say, I already had quit TV. Was going through some, not legal battle, but I mean collections battle with DirecTV saying, hey man, I don't owe you any money, right? I sent you the box 6 months ago. I don't even have your equipment. Stop sending me bills. I'm not paying you anything. Anyway, but I remember watching that, the rally, and the rally was going on. So whenever this thing up the road was going on, and all they were saying at the rally is afterwards they were going to do the usual, like march up the street. It was just like, like they do at these political things, And so that whole thing to me, as far as I was concerned, and as far as I observed live, right? Because then there were live people started doing other broadcasts live. See, this is the thing. This is how they revise history. They forget that certain people watch things live. Yeah, right. It's like the network news ignores, and the print news the same way. They ignore YouTubers and and the numbers of people, the millions of people that watch YouTube, right? Forget my numbers. They're fucking with me, I don't give a shit about that. I do this show anyway. All right? But, even if it's just Tattoo and Trey and a couple other people watching. By the way, Tattoo's got a video up of Ronald Reagan, which is, timeless right now, his latest video. Check that out. Tattoo, just under Tattoo. But I don't care if 6 people, 5 people, 4 people, 12 people, 30 people watch this. I know it's all a game. Yeah, I can't get that smell of like, some of that stuff that like the cat. Unless I accidentally somehow got it on my microphone. I don't know. But that's like 3 floors up in the attic of like this. It's liquid rubber in a can. Yeah, right on, buddy. But anyway, like I said, I remember watching this thing. And it just seemed to me like it was just, there was this serious rally that was very organized, very typical happy day, the people that do, the follower, that kind of scene. And then there was this, simultaneous to that, like it wasn't even the people from that. There was this group up the other side of, I guess, and as far as I'm concerned, agent provocateurs, and now they're talking about maybe intelligence agency. It was like, it was an operation. It was an op, right? And then, weeks later, or as time passed on, and now they refer to it as like, 1/6 or January 6th, like it's a 9/11 type of, and I'm going like, yeah, there was some stupid some dumb freaky Capitol cop shot that, an unarmed military woman who was just like going, it was a scene. Sometimes a scene gets out of control. It happens. And there's always innocent people that go, or people go along, get pushed along with the crowd or something. But they like turn it in. It's totally blown out of proportion, put it that way. And I still, to this day, can't believe how blown out of fucking proportion that thing is. Like, when I see something on it, I just go like, I'm not even interested in, like, I won't watching the video or hear somebody talk about it. That's like a turnoff to me. Because I'm like, no, I was watching YouTube live, and then there were cameras of, people with phones broadcasting things, that part of it live. The two events, the rally and that, were two separate, completely, totally separate events. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I think Alex Jones is a fucking dickhead. You know what I mean? I do. I think he's a dickhead. And I'm sorry to see that, like I was just showing you this thing, and I just wanted to put that up there because it was a joke. Caravan en route, being me. But I'm going to take this and show you something else. Speaking of, and I may not have, I think this is still on my desktop. Yeah. So this is another email I get. Like, I get these emails, they're fundraising emails, right? Now, there's certain people that are this is to set some people off. Right? So this is like the promo thing. But that whole Save America concept, I think that was Alex Jones actually coined that phrase. Right? And, but, everything in this letter is freaking true. But I get a laugh out of these because, especially the two lovers line down there. I'm going to let you read this thing because I'm not going to read it over. But it's like totally true, isn't it? Right? It's ridiculous. Yeah. So, yeah, great solar stuff. It's time to start thinking about that. Title card of this show, Drunk Monkeys and Other Elitists. And, so hello, folks. It's the 28th, and the title of the show is Drunk on Power Funded by Taxes. And taxes are in one way, shape, you're paying taxes in a million different ways, whether you even think you pay taxes or not. Like, I don't file federal taxes. I don't pay taxes anymore directly because I'm below the poverty line, right? But, as far as I'm concerned, this is the political scene, a bunch of drunk monkeys, right? Drunk on power and our tax money. That's who's running this country. Yeah, the whole movement. And it's just, it's ridiculous. And of course, this is just some little artwork I originally made for a different meme when I was doing the Twitter thing back in the day. And so I put a little bit of gray matter in the monkey's mind, give him the monkey brain, and just messed around with this thing. The graphic artiste. So I don't, like I said, I try to avoid politics and stuff. So before we get into anything like heavy or whatever, I have no answers about yesterday's show, no updates, other than I think I totally screwed up the regimen of, how to take this antibiotic. I was trying to read a lot of things. I'm going to call a different oral surgeon today. I'm going to try calling that other doctor and see if those people are if they're like want to deal with something. But, I just feel as if I paid $260 some dollars. I see they cashed a check like they must have ran to the bank yesterday morning. Because I checked my thing, so it was like it's out, I got $5 in my bank account. Yeah, they ran to the bank with the check. But anyway, from the book, Then What? 10 reasons why it's game over. Let's put this over here. I hurt myself today. The Johnny Cash voice seems to be working. It's 5:23 a.m. At 7:30 today, of course, I expect the show to be done by then. These people are supposed to come to fix my gas furnace, so hopefully they do a good job and the house doesn't blow up. 10 reasons why it's game over. People don't understand what I mean by that. 1, as detailed on the previous 2 pages, apparently. I guess I had something in here about Congress shall make the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or the right of people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances, which in effect that January 6th was the right of people to peaceably assemble. And the fact that, you had a couple of agent provocateurs and somebody climbing through or breaking a window or something like that, big fucking deal. All right? Like worse shit happened. The Canadians burnt the Capitol in 1812. Like I told you that story yesterday. People don't even understand the Star-Spangled Banner and why we have fireworks on the 4th of July. So the Canucks, right? And the King of England, we had a Revolutionary War against England. All right? People forget about that. I'm sorry for you folks, and I've been over in the UK, and I have had, acquaintances in, England, Ireland, Scotland, and all that stuff. Even like some relatives, I think. Somehow some connection with some Scots. Anyway, 10 reasons why it's game over. 1, as detailed on the previous 2 pages, freedom of speech and the First Amendment are no longer being adhered to by the corporate/Marxist U.S. government. True statement. It's not arguable. Like, you can't argue that. 2, the U.S. corporatocracy is a criminal enterprise protected by the court system and law enforcement, whose true mission was to uphold the U.S. Constitution and prosecute those who violate its precepts. Now, just so you're not confused, that could be a little bit confusing. So the U.S. corporatocracy is a criminal enterprise protected by the court system and law enforcement, whose true mission is and was to uphold the U.S. Constitution, prosecute those who violate its precepts. But they're not, okay? So that's why it's game over, because the corporatocracy has seized control of the courts and law enforcement. In other words, like that thing I just popped up here under news, Comey lied, Schiff lied. You see what I mean? McKay lied, the 2 lovers. All right? That's reason number 2. Reason number 3. At least half the American people no longer have confidence that we have what one person, one vote, and fair elections. And that's true. You know, countless polls have shown that. People no longer believe or have confidence that we have one person, one vote, or fair elections. See, it doesn't matter. This isn't a criticism. This isn't like saying, oh, things are rigged. This is saying what people think. And people don't believe we have fair elections and that your vote counts. You know, and that's loss of confidence. 4. Special interest groups and foreign actors such as the World Economic Forum influence and craft the laws in Congress. Again, it's not art. You can't argue that point. That's fact. 5. Unelected bureaucrats and career politicians blatantly disobey the will of the people and act to protect the financial corporate interest and ideologues they answer to. Again, fact. Right? 6. U.S. intelligence agencies and their military contractors are involved in secret coups, illegal wars, and nation building throughout the world without legal authorization. Right? You know, it's like they're not authorized to do it. The American people, it wasn't, these things aren't even on the platforms of political candidates who ran when people felt we even had fair elections, right? These things, this is like an alternative government. You know, it's not like a secret government because it's known, right? You know, the results are there for all to see. No, this is basically what you would call, it's not a shadow government. You know, this is the problem with guys like Alex Jones and people like that. You know, they're buffoons, you know, because they talk things like shadow government, secret government, you know, all this stuff. No, it's not a shadow government. It's not, they're not doing this in the dark of the night. They're just doing it and saying, fuck you, we're doing it. And we don't answer to you. That's why I try to tell you, you're not going to drain the swamp because the swamp's in charge, man. The swamp, the government is the swamp. Washington, D.C. is a swamp. And so in order to to drain the swamp basically means to eliminate the entire government. And you're not going to rebuild. You know, that's why I say it's the former United States of America. Now, whether or not the phoenix rises from the ashes, you know, that's the dream of the Save America people. Okay? But that's what it is. It's a matter of something rising because it's game over right now. All right? 7, and it's been game over. The mainstream media in the U.S. functions as a propaganda wing of the corporatocracy/Marxist U.S. government. And you were wondering why I'm pushing this book and telling you why you should have a print copy of it. You know, because you're not going to remember all this stuff. And you want to have this stuff at your fingertips. 8, the public education system in America indoctrinates, conditions, and warps the minds of children with revisionist history and ideology rather than teaching the 3 R's. 9, we are no longer free to pursue happiness. Our liberty is gone. Right? Where it is. Stay here. Don't do that. You know, when I was up there at that stupid dentist, I couldn't fucking breathe in the waiting room. You know? Who the fuck are that? You know, fuck that, man. We got technology. It's the year 1521, right? Put in an air filter that, you know, that takes out microscopic things from the air. Ups the circulation, up the speed of the HVAC systems in buildings. Right? You know? And stop pushing a saline solution. 10, people are no people no longer trust the government, pseudo-government agencies, and their representatives or politicians. And I went on to say, and I'm sure you could think of another 10 things or make amendments to mine. These are just off the top of my head. Again, this book is a flow of consciousness. But it's game over, man. Get the frickin' book, this thing. There's all kinds of neat stuff in there. And there's stuff about me and stuff. But, my adventures are interesting. So it's fun. Reading is fundamental. Yeah, it's crazy, when you think about it. But, yeah.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, that's right. Surprise, surprise, surprise. I got drinking this thing. I haven't had I don't feel like doing coffee today. And I thought I'd try this Dr. Thunder because I had picked it up a couple of days ago. And, come on, microphone. It's like a karaoke microphone. Karaoke. Where they get the karaoke out of that. This is probably going down all those cracks when they tried to do my teeth cleaning. They dig and end up eliminating your gums. So let's go to the videotape. No. Today's album, well, it makes sense because I started with it. I hurt myself today. Right. So this album, Cash, is, Johnny Cash has had so much, I hear the train coming. It's rolling around the bend. I could play that too. But it's not on this album. But going back to, the early Johnny Cash, hi, I'm Johnny Cash, to this like last album, which is a masterpiece. And, these covers that he's done and his interpretation, your own personal Jesus, his rendition of that. And so, if you haven't really listened to this album, and this is nothing, this is not like country, like country and Western, they cut the Western out of that. But this is Johnny Cash. This is a classic album. This is one of the albums to own. And it's another reason why, just to get on a little tangent, that, the destruction, how they've destroyed culture. I call it pop cult. I started that yesterday. It's pop cult. It's not even pop culture anymore. It's pop cult. Because that's what, the way things are. But of course there's some people still make vinyl. People are out there with vinyl, but it's expensive. And, it's like a lot of things. There's so many cool things that are out there, technological wise, and just in general, even retro-y type of things, and people living, who are living decent lives, and even to live off, like so-called off-grid type living, and stuff, and all that, or just less dependent on people, like even having some solar power or whatever, just so you don't, because the grid sucks, man. The power goes out all the time everywhere. I just saw on a thing I get, like one of these neighbors emails. I get these emails from these things. You just can't get rid of the shit. And there was somebody in there. Is anybody else have experience in power outages? Fortunately I'm not. I'm not sure where they were from, but it was somewhere within miles of here. But like I said, last month, I think the power was out for like 6 or 7 hours. What the? Right? But anyway, I miss albums, records, and it's like, yeah, you could still get records. And, and I, if I let me just take this back, there's my box set on the wall back here, right? I mean, that's the artwork for it. I never did it. I was going to do it. Jack White, has like a record pressing thing. But, it costs money and I never got any funding, The skull with the candle. This is kind of a freaky show. Be afraid, be very afraid. But the point of the matter is, it's like everything else. It's become like an elitist thing. Something that was just a thing. And, and all the major record stores are closed. And then if you buy a record, they're expensive as hell. And then you have to have. And then, you could go on eBay or Craigslist. And if you're lucky in some parts of the country, you could find, even at some kind of flea market or some place, somebody selling some kind of, old-fashioned, what we would call a stereo. I mean, I kicked myself, but I had no choice. There was a guy up the street who was selling one of those floor model, the thing has a lid comes up. The speakers are on two sides. It's actually a piece of furniture, the classic stereo system, where the record player's inside it and, you have to open the lid to access the record player and the stereo dial. And then the speakers are on two sides. But it's a fucking piece of furniture, right? And there was a guy up there, and there was a stack of records and stuff on it, and I was passing. And I probably could have bought the thing for $25, and I even have like a push hand truck. He's like literally a half a block up the street from me, a block tops. But that particular day, I was flat broke. So it wasn't like I could go over there and make an offer and say, I'll give you $25 for it, whatever. And, later that day it rained and stuff. So I bet you all those records and that thing just got wet and ruined, and he threw it out in the garbage. Even if I'd have paid $100 for something like that, I love those things. Because even if the speakers were shot or something, it's the woodwork and stuff. Those, I would have like refinished the wood. I would have like put two new speakers in it. I would have had that as like the centerpiece in like my up in my bedroom, which / entertainment center. That's what it really is. It's like an all-in-one. I'm the type of guy, like I have this house. I bought this fucking house. And it's too big for me. I got a leaky roof and all this other shit. And it's like, I'm really the type of guy who would like to just live in a one-room studio apartment. And I've had them over the years. I always like that. Just one big open thing, I don't need all these fucking rooms and all this stuff, But the sad part about it is the leaks that I have is the ceiling in my frickin' bedroom, which is a nice room. It stays warm. It's cool in the summer, and it's warm at night, and it's quiet because it's in the back of the house. Everything's cool about it, but that's a part where I got the ceiling is messed up. Fuck. And it's like the title of yesterday's show, you can't win for losing. But anyway, back to this little rant about, cash. It's like, yeah, this is an album to get, I mean, yeah, it's great to have everything on it digitally. But, there's just something different about that. I mean, this is
You're listening to Tony Caravan Live.
This is vlog stuff. But it's like, Not enough people talk about these kinds of things to begin with. And, sometimes it's nice to know somebody else is like out there and has the same thoughts as you. Right? So you don't feel like you're a total nutbag, or losing your mind. But see, here's the problem with digital records. Now, I wrote 50 fucking songs. All right? They're not all good. They're not great. And, we're here. Let's see. I've done this a couple of times, and I'll do it a couple times more. Let me take Johnny down for a second. My first album, which kind of sucks, but it doesn't suck. There's a couple of good tracks on there. The worst Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa song ever written or sung, track 8 on this 8-track. It's not really an 8-track, it's a CD, but and you can get this digitally. That's a seasonal classic, and it's coming up, right? And EYKIW, which stands for Everything You Know Is Wrong, that's a good tune. And, and then the lyrics to the other songs are, are good. All right? So it's worth having. I have a shitload of them up here myself. I'd gladly, send them to people, but the cost of shipping would be too much. And then I made this one. And you can see this is still shrink wrap. This is the Essential Beat Poetry of Tony Caravan. And this has a lot of the really good stuff on it. The Lies We Ignore, Identity Crisis, What People Don't Know, Game Over, Autopilot, Driving Down the Road, Bigger Than That, Robots, Breakaway Civilization, Bureaucrats, Everything You Know Is Wrong is also on here because this is the best of. Mini Digiculture, Happy Nightmares Live, On Advertising and Design, The Weather, and then the Worst Christmas Hanukkah song Live is on here too, live version. But this is out of print because I did this through Amazon's music on demand program they set up at one point. I bought 2 of them. I might have bought 3. I think I gave one away. I gave one to my brother or somebody. But they discontinued it. And instead of taking the files and digitally doing something with them in album form so someone could buy at least the compilation of this, they just said the hell with it. But you can get these songs, and you could ask your voice assistant to play them. And so what I was trying to get back to with this cache thing, excuse me, and this talk of records, versus CDs, or worse, digital, iTunes, or dealing with your voice assistant and all that stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, you can make playlists on your smartphone. Yes, you could get your digital assistant and say, hey, play that album. Right? Yeah, you can have these songs, but the stuff's scattered all over the place, and you got to go through all these. In other words, it's, take a picture of this. It's from a line from a song. It's a friend comes over your house, or a couple of friends, or something like that, or you're just hanging out, right? And you open up a beer, or somebody, somebody's smoking reefer, or whatever their thing is, for me, and you just open up a beer. It'd be so cool to just go over to that thing I described, that console type of stereo system, right? And pull out this cache record on an album, Like on the back of it would be the lyrics, right? You know. And I've actually done that. I don't know if I have one handy. It's like buried. But I actually made like a cover. That thing, like this thing over here, the artwork that's on this like box set mock-up, on the back side of that is, and it's too complicated. I can't take that off the wall the way that's set up now. It'd just be one of those cascading domino, cluster fucks. But I have the lyrics, printed like on the back of an old album, the way it used to be. Or sometimes it'd be a lyric book, or you'd have a double album. You'd open it up and you'd got these lyrics. Which I'm a beat poet, so the lyrics are a big part of it. What I ended up doing is in my book 8, all right, is basically a book of lyrics. Just, it has the one with the infinity symbol on it. Find it. For some reason, it's like the bottom of the pile. This book. I have this stuff in the bottom where it makes it sound like there might be more, like it's a book. But the idea is I'm basically referring to, like, I guess you could see that. See, it's a lyric book. Now, there's some stuff in the beginning. There's a couple of essays. But, that's okay, I guess. You could have that on your coffee table if you're a Tony Caravan fan. And try to page through and find the lyrics while you listen to this music as a song comes through over your voice assistant or playlist or whatever. It's just not the same, man. Is grabbing the album artwork that you can see because it's big enough. See, I have a song called Mini Digi Culture. How the idea that everything's in these mini, miniature smartphones, which still for the life of me, that's why I don't really use them. I use them as like, as a side thing. Like if I'm going for a walk, sometimes I'll use them to listen to music with the headphones. I never bought like the earbuds or any of that crap. I got the headphones that came with them and they still seem to work. So I'll use those sometimes when I'm walking down the street to the store. But and yeah, you could see that you got an email. But I don't mess around with much of anything else with them. Mini Digi Culture. I watch YouTube on TV, man. Right? This is TV. If you're watching this on a small device, it's like, that stuff I put up on the screen earlier, you couldn't see, you couldn't read it. Right? So it's like, there are certain things. There's an old line like, people would say, build a better mousetrap. You can't really build a better mousetrap, I mean, there's, of course, I caught a rat, they can't swim. So if you put a bucket with halfway filled with water with some kind of like string or stick or something with a piece of food or something for them, they go in, and it's slippery. They slide in, fall, they can't swim. But it's kind of cruel way of drown, because they drown to death. didn't mean to bring that up, but there was accidentally I found a rat in a bucket in the back. You know, I felt sorry for the thing, really. You know, but what I'm saying is, you know, and that's would be considered an old-fashioned, the original mousetrap. You know, more so than even the one, what we would call the mousetrap, the thing where you put the cheese with the spring thing that breaks its neck. You know, it's ridiculous. I guess designed after the trebuchet. You know what a trebuchet is? Thing they used to shoot rocks and flaming things at castles. People lived in castle wall. Think about that. The kings were so hated, you know, I mean, or so much oppression that they had to build these castle walls, live within these castle walls. And then ultimately they all fall down like some nursery rhyme, you know, it just never really worked. You know, and they've done the same down in Washington now. They've like built like these fences around everything because of some agent provocateurs and some people in the intelligence agencies, some political people decided to create that January 6th thing I was talking about, you know, and just drag along, you know, people who were there and, you know, just make a mess of stuff. And then the news media eats it up and it gives them free fucking content that they could milk for, 10 months or something. The chair keeps falling down eternally. Yeah, so Johnny Cash, you know, just to finish up on this, even though you know, I don't know, it might be available on album. I don't know. I could even check. Let's just see here. New Chrome, new window. Cash album on vinyl. Yeah, let me do something here just to try to bring you along, because yesterday, that was another problem with yesterday, was that I was looking at something and I thought you were coming along for the ride. And for some reason you weren't. But now it seems that you will be. Let's see here. I have to do this weirdness to make this happen. Okay. So let's see. American 5, The Man Comes Around, double vinyl import. And this is kind of what I was saying. So this is on Amazon Music. I'm sure you could find this. Only 6 left in stock. Order soon. $58.48. Vinyl. You know, streaming unlimited. Yeah, you could listen to it. MP3, $9.49. Audio CD, $11.68. You know, 2 new vinyls, $58.45. You know, that's from Amazon. And, you know, it looks like eBay and maybe some other places. Well, these are the records, but that was the vinyl. And so, you know, what I'm trying to get at here, I know it's kind of funky how this works, but now I'm back. And also, make sure I'm still on live. But $58, you know, with shipping and all that stuff, you're talking 60. I don't know, if there's it's Amazon, you know, it's taxable, and you know, And then I guess if you have Amazon Prime, you'd get free shipping. But if you didn't or something, I mean, you're talking $60 some, maybe as high as $70 for a record. For a fucking record, man. And so it's like sometimes building a better mousetrap, you know, is just, you know, things are fine. You don't fuck with things that, you know, that work. I'm pretty sure there's caffeine in there, so I guess it's helping me work up a, you know.
Halloween, do you know where your children are?
No, as far as I know, I don't have any. Hopefully not. So, yeah, it's just one of those things, you know, that it kind of just you think about and, you know, freedom is fun. And, you know, you could go about and do it. And, you know, one of the things that I've always done in life, like if I really wanted to, you set your mind to it and say, I think I'm going to get back into records. So, you know, it would take you like a year maybe, especially if you're on fixed income. But, you know, you could find a record player or maybe you luck out. Like I say, I kick myself. Man, I wish I would have had the money to buy the guy selling. Because that's the thing. You get these people clear out their houses or somebody dies or somebody moves and they're just like, they don't want that thing. You know, but. And, you know, you'd have to rebuild the record collection and it kind of would become a hobby, you know, I guess. And that's what it is. But it's right now it's become like a rich person's hobby. You know, the elite, they get this stuff. Yeah. And, you know, so those days are gone forever over a long time ago. You know, when pop culture, music, you know, the arts, everything was accessible to, you know, to any decent person. You know, I'm not talking socialism, communism here, power to the people bullshit. No, I'm talking about, you know, you had a job and you got your paycheck. Like I said, I remember my first real job when it wasn't even, I think I was just turned. You know, because I took a year off. I went to college. But in between, I took some time off and I was working in Philly and I had this job and it paid decent. And like the first thing I got with my paycheck, maybe the second thing, because because I was living in this really nice apartment, but they were cheap at the time and it was downtown. It was like Penn Towers or something like that. It was a really cool place. Could see the city lights from my place. I was pretty high up. I've told this story before. I don't know if it's in my book necessarily. See the guitar on my microphone. But the first or second thing I bought with one of my paychecks was a stereo system. And I turned that on when I got home, and I turned it to like WMMR in Philadelphia, which used to be like a classic station. And I'd come home and I'd turn on MMR, or I'd even just like I'd leave it on all night long. I'd sleep with the radio on, FM radio, with two nice, really nice speakers on opposite sides. And that was a studio apartment. I really liked it. And I had these big, and all the one side of the windows all faced the city. So the city lights, the cityscape. And I basically, because it was a studio apartment, I got my bed was a pull-out sofa bed. A real nice, nice one, right? And that's what and I'll tell you, half the time I didn't open it up into a bed. Half the time I just slept on it as a sofa. And I had this job, and I was like the marketing director. I was the young marketing director of this company. But I just come home, and I had a little galley kitchen behind that I had this sliding thing that you could slide and close and hide off. And at nighttime, it would just be, I'd make myself the refrigerator. The way you could slide it was really cool. You could slide it so just the refrigerator was available. So you could hide the sink and the stove and the cabinets and everything. So you could grab your beer, like you just slide that room. So it would just be the refrigerator there. And I'd come home from work and have a couple, eat something maybe, and have a couple of beers, and I'd be just standing at the window looking out over the cityscape at night, listening to this station that was playing great music. It's really cool. Those days are gone forever. But I did that for a while, and then I moved on. I had my illustrious life. I don't know what was making me think about that. But that's how important music has been in my life. That was it, I just listened to it all the time. I still listen to music. I use one of those Echo Dot things, even in my bedroom, to play music. I go to sleep with music on, but now it's more like just like this weird liquid mind stuff. Then, I'll wake up maybe middle of the night, and then I'll say, turn it, stop playing music. Just to give the brain a rest, I guess. So I have to figure today, like if I'm going to call this other oral surgeon and deal with this tooth thing and, all this ridiculous stuff. But, just to finish this discussion, because, I don't know how much this has to do with what was the title of the show in Drunk on Power? Yeah, well, this kind of follows that idea. These drunk monkeys and other elitists. Yeah, this all follows that. It's like they're still living the life, that we used to live. And, but they're just like a bunch of drunk monkeys. Because they have they're not producing any art. There's no real culture there. There's no pretension. I mean, if you look at pop culture, pop music, pop whatever you want to call it, and I don't care what who the hell you are, and I'm sorry, somebody who thinks Jay-Z is like some talented person or something, or Brianna or something. You know what I mean? It's crap rock. It's crap. And it's like these country stars that have come in, and used these same producers that Jay-Z and Brianna or whoever the fuck their names are, right? It's the same, half dozen producers, songwriters, and it's all this weird stuff and these, these effects they have now where they like auto-tune and all this other crap. It's just all bullshit. And let's face, I don't care what anybody says. It's nothing to do with age. Every fucking song sounds the goddamn same. Right? And it's digital, and it's on my fucking app. And Apple makes a big deal about, we're about music. That was their thing with their thing. And their new device looks like a citronella candle. A fucking citronella candle. Since they lost Johnny Ive They're industrial designer, right? They just like, all they do is like put out another iPhone and a citronella candle. And and yeah, there's all these great things, and we're coming into like the Christmas season, gift giving season, and all that stuff. And there's these catalogs. I don't get them anymore because I don't buy any of that stuff because I don't have the money to buy it anymore. But those catalogs, I forget even, like Slammer and Hammer or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Or like even those, like those geek things, geek device catalogs, stuff for the elite, let's see if we could even find something like that, just since this show is going in that direction. Gifts for the person who has everything. Okay. Let's see if we could find one of these catalogs. That's a gift advisor. Yeah. I mean, this is what I want. It's just I'm trying to find these catalogs. They must still have them. I'm looking for the name. I used to get all this stuff because when I had the jobs, I used to buy a lot of this stuff, for people. I was always a big gift giver. I enjoyed buying gifts and giving gifts. It's fun, for me. Let's see under shopping. Yeah, see, I don't see it. Like, I don't know. Maybe these, they probably become websites. Let's see. Let's say catalog. If that does anything. Thegrommet.com has everything. Smart. As soon as I find this thing, I'll turn you on to it. All right, let me do this. I don't like keeping you in the dark because that happens sometimes. Properties. Here we go. All right, so now you can see what I see as soon as I slide this all the way over. So my smart gadget, I don't know who the hell this is. I just randomly pulled this up. But it's like, okay, so this is the stuff. Star scope monocular. See everything from miles away like you're standing there. Now, I don't see the price on any of this stuff, but this stuff is totally out of reach. Best night's sleep you ever have. Dodow. What the hell is that? Polyglot. Device lets you speak 43 languages at the touch of a button. Right. The Photo Stick Omni. Find and protect all your memories in one click. I don't know. That looks weird. MPG magnetic levitating speaker. The only floating speaker you'll need. Peeps Carbon Technology. NASA solution for dirty glasses. Futuristic patch that uses nanotech to relieve pain. Power Pod. These aren't as cool. This isn't really exactly what I was expecting. MPG jellyfish LED lamp. Yeah. Prevent thousands in unnecessary car. Screw that. All these stupid germ things. Throw away super glue, fix virtual anything. This is like kid stuff, goofy things. Let's see. Let's go back and see if we can find something else. Top 19 gadgets for 2021. That's where we were. Cool gifts they won't expect. Let's see. I'm trying to find one of these catalogs that's familiar that used to be. Here's the Hamature. Yeah, this is the one. This is like for the rich. Hamature Schlemmer, right? Okay, let's look electronics. You know. Let's go to new arrivals. The waterproof buoyant 500 lumen LED lantern. A smartphone to landline telephone. That's a neat idea. $150. Noise canceling, body measurement. Superior HD tabletop radio. I bought one of those for my mother. Something similar to that. Like, I don't know, years ago. She still uses it. Those things are nice. But they're expensive as hell. CD playing multi-format tabletop radio. Wearable reading light. Let's go back to just gadgets. DVD playing projection cinema, $259. Best portable DVD player. I'm against that because, I mean, if you want to watch a movie, I want to see it on the big screen. This has some of the same crap in there. There's that hypnotic jellyfish aquarium for $100. CD playing clock radio. There's an old-fashioned, the cassette to digital converter and player. That's kind of funky. You see that over here? For $60, that's not bad. Award-winning Bluetooth radio, old-fashioned style. That's kind of neat, but $129 fucking dollars. Night vision monocular, pepper spray, GPS alerter, 4-device car power strip. What's with the jellyfish? 2-pack of mini jellyfish. Is that like a new thing now? Voice activated smart plug. I have one of those tied into my Echo Dot. Portable planetarium. The 26-in-1 aircraft aluminum pocket tool. $100. What 26 things does this fucking thing do? Let's look at unexpected. And there we go. A jukebox. I bet you this girl is only like 4 foot tall. You know, they always do this stuff when they show stuff like that. You know what I mean? Right? I bet she's like, they find, it's like when they have certain other devices, they find people with the world's smallest hands to make it look really big. Let's see if we can see the height. Plugs in, let's see the height. Height, 50. Yeah, that's like 50.5 inches high. So 48 inches would be like 4 feet. Yeah, see, I'm right. Thing's only like 4 feet tall. But it still would be neat, but it's $2,500 for a jukebox. The availability, only full-size jukebox that plays music from record smartphones. Okay, so I see what they're saying here is that it's like a record player, CD. In reality, for 2,500, this thing looks better in this picture than it probably really is in real life. But yeah, this Hammacher Schlemmer, they used to be, didn't they have they used to be in the malls sometimes too. Museum quality R2D2, $7,500. The immersive audiophile pod, $32,000. A golf cart hovercraft, $58,000. 1920s electric board track racer, $7,000. Here's one. The Centrix Wine Steward Eliminator, $205,000. This is the apparatus preferred by one seeking an eccentric approach to pouring a glass of wine. Only $200,000. I hope you were able to see. Yeah, you were able to see that. I can see the residue of the past. But anyway, it's, looking at that. I mean, that's what I was looking for, like that catalog. But to me, they used to have a lot of cooler stuff. Real tempting, But yeah, a bunch of drunk monkeys and other elitists, I guess, are buying that stuff. $205,000, $58,000. All this weird stuff. That jukebox thing looked like one of those like Crosley things, though, almost. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't high end. That didn't look like a high end turntable. But that's what I'm getting at. It's like, and we don't even need to see the drunk monkeys and other elitist thing on here anymore, I don't think. And of course, just remember the sun and great solar stuff. The sun's going through all kinds of changes, man. And, great solar stuff. I sell some of these things that are practical, basically, when the power goes out. But, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, I would like that Johnny Cash in vinyl, but I mean, it's out of touch. And that's this. I wrote a song called Breakaway Civilization. And I talk about that often. We'll talk about it now. But it's like going up to this dentist and stuff. It's like, that woman up there, that dentist, and that hygienist or whatever, and their secretary, whatever, receptionist, man, they're living in a different fucking world. They just don't get it. They don't seem to see reality, and they had no concern for they're in a healthcare profession, and someone comes in. I mean, how can you morally, ethically, didn't they take the Hippocratic Oath or something like that? The doctor? I mean, whatever it is, Hippocratic, whatever. I don't pretend to know everything. But, what is that? Anyway, let's read that. I think it's basically do no harm. Let's see here. Hippocratic Oath. Let's see. It requires a new physician to swear by a number of healing gods. What the heck? These include medical confidentiality, non-malfeasance. I just wanted to find it so I can read it to you. Okay, first, do no harm. Right? Number one. Practice two things in dealing with disease, either help or do no harm to the patient. The exact phrase believed to have been originated in 19th century surgeon. So either help or do no harm. That's the Hippocratic Oath. Okay? And so guy walks in, he's got a toothache. He wants a tooth to be extracted, and they, in other words, cause him pain and send him on his way with no instructions on how to take, this regimen of, amoxicillin or whatever. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, man. I didn't take one at 11 because the thing said 11 last night. Because the thing said, like the first day I did, I took, because it said take 3 a day. And if I would have taken one at 11, because I was taking one at 4, it would have been 11, it would have been 4. I took one this morning at 4. But it would have been like I've been taking 4 a day. And on the bottle, all it says is take 3 a day. And no instructions and no nothing. And I still have a fucking tooth problem. So that's what I'm trying to say. These people are just like, they're fucking drunk monkeys and other elitists. And believe me, I got nothing wrong with anybody getting drunk or high or whatever. That's not what that this thing's about. That's not the criticism. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm saying they're fucking drunk monkeys. And elitists. And they're not following, the medical profession's not following. A guy like Fauci's following the Hippocratic Oath. These people are doing gain-of-function research and are releasing bioweapons out on the fucking world. Yeah, it's crazy, So, I don't know what the fuck. And it's, it's like... So to break away civilization, they don't care about you. To them, $262, fuck it. They took it, run to the bank and cashed the check. They got the money. And what do I have? A toothache. I'm taking some kind of thing that's destroying all the good bacteria in my gut. I don't know what to eat. I seem to have gained like a couple of pounds. Like, I'm up like 4 pounds. I'm constipated. Didn't go to the bathroom yesterday. I don't know if that's from the pain pill or whatever. People talk about people on these things having diarrhea. Well, I have the complete opposite. I'm bloated. I did eat some stuff yesterday, but I didn't pig out on anything. I had like can of chicken noodle soup. Tiny can of chicken noodle soup. And just a couple like crackers. It's just take a snack when you. Well, I had that oatmeal for breakfast, but that was a joke. There was nothing in it. It was like a scrapes of oatmeal and blueberries. But apparently that negated that yesterday morning's amoxicillin. My mouth feels weird. So obviously I fucked up the regimen Because that was the main thing. I was trying to watch these YouTube videos from doctors since nobody's given me any direction. And the stuff you search is all contradictory, like I was telling you yesterday. So I'm figuring, okay, I'll watch doctors, did a search for videos by doctors about how to take antibiotics, what to eat, antibiotic diet. You know, I was searching those kind of terms, right? And it was all weird, contradictory stuff. Like some were like saying eat certain foods, some were saying don't. One would say like, yeah, take your thing in the morning and then you could eat some probiotic in the evening. Well, mine says take 3 a day. So what do I do in between? You know, I don't know what to do. My tongue is like, you know, sore. So it's like this breakaway civilization, this crazy corporatocracy, these political people going back and forth, mergers and acquisitions of media companies and Save America and all that kind of stuff. I mean, all this stuff is all feel good for people who feel that but like there's nothing here is new, right? It's like, this is like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, everything in this thing, the same. So it's like, so it's just fundraising. Meanwhile, they can afford, all those expensive things and go to a dentist and come out with a abscess tooth or whatever, and no instructions, and a doctor who hides from you. Do no harm, help the patient and do no harm. I mean, what the hell was that? That was like, the more I think about it, it's like, it's surreal what went on up there. Like she just vanished and like closed the door to like the back part of the office, which wasn't closed when I first went in, like she was hiding back there. It's like, when somebody knows, it's like a kid when they know they did something wrong, they hide, or whatever. Ridiculous. Even a pet, an animal, a dog, the dog did something wrong in the house, and it hides. I mean, it's so childish. Look, woman, you went to fucking medical school. You took this Hippocratic oath. And you're hiding, and but you took my check and you cashed it like instantly. And I'm sitting here like I don't know what to do. And one of the videos said I watched yesterday from an MD, right? From a reputable university hospital. And she said that, because they were talking about how to rebuild. One of them was like rebuilding your biome after you're off of this regimen, which I didn't really care about. But I'm watching anything and everything to find out about some little nugget of information to help me, right? And she said, well, she was citing some, I don't know if it was an Israeli study or, UK. I think it was in Israel. And it was a big study. It was a 6-month-long study. They had a placebo group, and then they had people they gave probiotics, after they were done taking their antibiotics. And they found that the placebo group did better because within 3 weeks, the bacteria, which, you're basically your microbiome, the bacteria had grown back in the placebo group. And the people taking these probiotics and other stuff, it took them like longer, for some reason. I don't know why. It was just a weird way the study was. So the idea was like, in other words, they were kind of messing with the gut. And so the good bacteria, whatever. And the idea was if you didn't mess with it, with the placebo group that were just taking like, a placebo pill, or placebo, whatever they were eating was just probably like, nothing. Whatever the probiotic they were taking. Within 3 weeks, their bacteria, they were back to, their full bacterial load, whatever the heck you call it. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Now, I'm going to be done this 10-day regimen thing next week. Well, the appointment that I have for the extraction is beyond 3 weeks after that, which means the bacteria is going to have grown back. And it wasn't just this Israeli study. There were some other studies that basically said the same thing. Bacteria grows back, which means that good or bad bacteria, if her rationale was like, take this stuff because we can't pull a tooth because, well, whatever it is going to be there by the 22nd of November, man. It's the 28th of fucking October. I went there on the 26th. There's 31 days in October. So that takes it back to like the 25th of November would be a month. We're talking 3 days from a month, 3 days less of a month. So it's definitely going to be over 3 weeks. So my microbiome, my bacteria, good and bad, is going to grow back. If there was an abscess or whatever the fuck it was, the tooth needed to be fucking yanked. So she violated her Hippocratic oath. Help the patient and do no harm, among other things that are supposed that they swear and whatever. Help the patient and do no harm. Well, she did neither. And the pharmacist down there did neither either. And that might have been an oversight on their part because they were rushed maybe to get the thing from this woman who left a message on the pharmacist's answering machine for the prescription, but there was nothing included with the prescription that I picked up in the bag or stapled to it the way it normally is. There was something stapled to it, but was stapled to it was just like the generic thing, keep medicines out of, the reach of children, don't, follow the instructions of your doctor. It was just that basic nonsense page. It wasn't like this specific, the ones you usually get one in there saying, don't, possible side effects from this drug. Don't, take this with this, do that. That wasn't there. And the doctor didn't give me any paperwork when I left. All they did was take a check from me. So she violated her Hippocratic oath. She didn't help the patient and she did harm, And now I'm sitting here like trying to figure out, I don't know, when do I take the next pill and what do I eat? And will I go to the bathroom again? Am I going to have my gut explode and leaky gut syndrome? I got to end this show early because I got to take a piss. Because I have probably such a pressure of buildup of bile and crap in me that it's putting pressure on my bladder. from, normally I sit here and drink a couple, 3 or, plenty of coffee, easily the equivalent of like what I drank soda wise, because that was mostly ice cubes in there, by the way. Breakaway civilization. We're being run by drunk monkeys and other elitists. These people have degrees. They're not following it. The politicians are liars and hypocrites. The people who are talking against, all right, the people who are trying to are just repeating the same blather that we all know already and just raising. This is from a fundraising letter, by the way. And I'm trying to tell you, it's the fucking end of the world, man. It's the end of the fucking world. The sun's fucking going through things. Our magnetic field's weak and all this shit. These breakaway people, they think, eat. Excuse me. Sorry for that. I didn't mean to do that. It's not funny, and I guess I shouldn't have laughed.
Really funny. Really funny.
Yeah, those guys thought it was funny, so what the hell, So I don't know. Maybe you thought it was, So I'm going to end this thing, but you get the gist of the idea. So good morning. Do me a favor, buy a book, buy a print version of a book. Go to Great Solar Stuff, get some stuff, get a shirt. You need it. Spread the word. Help yourself. Help everybody. Somebody's got to do something. We got to change this thing, I guess, or not. I guess, or just do the best you can to survive. Take care. I got to